All right, so guys, on today's edition of Design Review and Breakdown, I'm breaking down the whole carousel of social media designs I did for Bodex social media hangout. All right, so this is everything I did. This is more like another couple of designs, basically the countdown designs I did. Right, so it's quite a wholesome stuff, but I'll be breaking it down carousel by carousel, all right, so that you guys get a hang of all I did in this design. All right, so I'll be breaking it down from top to bottom. All right, so um typically I'll start from everything you can see and all the things that I think you might miss. All right, so first of all, this is the branding Bodex social media hangout. I spoke to the convener on rebranding this year. That was sometime 2 years ago, but I didn't think that discussion passed. But hopefully, it will be looked at or looked into. All right. So I didn't do the branding though. I didn't do the logo branding for the event. So it's something that they had done since the first edition. So we had to just flow with it. So this is actually the fifth edition, and I designed the third edition and the fifth edition. So all of the editions were done by different designers. So just have to give that backstory. So this is that. Then this is Let's Network, Discuss and Build. Just a text I added that I felt would rhyme with the whole essence of the event. All right, and the font for that is Big Noodle Tilting or Titling. Yeah. So it's a long font. All right, you guys can check it out. So here's access is free. All right, just to reiterate the point and buttress it, access is free. So I think this is a smart object, so we can see how I actually did that. All right, so yeah, this is the whole thingy. So this access here, I think it's a font. I don't know what font is exactly. Let me check. I don't think you can see the font again, no. But I know it's either this font is either let me see what I still have it. I think it's black signature. Yeah, it's black signature. That's the name of the font. That's the exact font. Okay, there are two fonts here. Okay, that's why. Okay, so let me see. Let me highlight this alone. Okay. The font is the Dageland. That's the name of the font. Dageland. All right. So this is free. There's also another font which is let me try to find it. Okay, it's intro. That's the name of the font. So I grouped both of them and to have the same yellow color. All right, so with this rectangle, so this rectangle is your normal rectangle with outlines alone. All right, and I just cut out this part with um my rectangular marquee tool. So I just cut out this part. I click on it, then clicked on the layer I want to cut from, then come down to layer mask. Then once I click on it, it opens up a layer mask like this. So typically it would cut and keep only this place that I selected, but what I need is just this whole place with this cutout. So what I'll just invert this particular what do you call it, this particular mask. That's Control I or Command I, so it gives me the rest of the place and records this out. All right, so that's how I had that particular stuff. So I think I explained that. So back to this. Then the next thing I have is you'll notice some halftone features. This dot all around. They are called halftones. All right. So there are ways to get it or there are ways to do it manually on Photoshop, but I advise if you can download it online, you can. All right. So I downloaded that halftone effect. It's like a textured effect. So I downloaded it on pngwings.com. All right, and I think this is the effect somewhere here. Uh, let me look for where I have those effects all lined up. Okay, I think it's at the top here. I think it's this. Let me be sure. It's not that. Or it's not that too. It's not this. 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 But it should be one of these PNG wings layers though. So probably somewhere down. Let me see if I can select it. Okay, yeah, I've gotten it. So this is where it is. All right. So yeah, that's it. So this is the effect here, and my blend mode is normal and my opacity is 13%. So I tell designers try as much as possible to know how to make use of your blend modes and your opacity. All right, very very important to really aid your designs so well. All right, so that's that. Then I have this rectangle. These are two rectangles. All right, that I added effects on, and the effect I added on them is called ripple effect. So how do I get rid of my ripple effect? I come to filter, then I go down to distort. Under distort, you have ripple. All right, once you click on it, you can now change the parameters to however you want it to be. All right, so then I have both different colors. You should know how to change colors of rectangles. Very simple stuff. So both the same ripple effect over both of them. Then I added some text, 5 days to go, and the name of this text is called Comic Kings. Comic Kings, that's the name of this text effect. That's the name of the text, sorry, not text effect. All right, so the thing about it is that this halftone effect I'm telling you about, it's at the top of this particular. You notice where the layer is at the top. See it where it's at the top, you know, of this particular distance. So it's actually on top of the whole of the elements on this. All right, so that's why you have it on all of this here. So this here is a an element that I got somewhere, circular dots, or sorry, rectangular dots together and all of that. So just basically an element that should be there to just complement the design, not necessarily that it's holding any significant importance. It's just there to chunk up space and bring balance to the design. All right. So basically, I love designing with symmetric balance. All right, meaning the weight on the left and the weight on the right, balance each other. So there's basically what I most likely love designing with, or how my composition most of the time would look like. Right. So to balance out this place and this place all together, these 5 days and all of this here, I had to find a way to also bring this in to balance it out and counter it. All right, so this theme should be another font. This is still Dageland. Then this social media, the influence, power, and impact is also intro. Yeah, I think that's intro. Okay, it's Lexend. Oh wow, Lexend. So, but you notice the hierarchy in the different weights I'm using. So the weight for this is different for the weight for the impact. The weight for this social media is bold. The weight for the influence is light. All right. So you notice the difference in hierarchy is not just in size, it's also in the weight of elements, right? Similar elements such as fonts in that particular design, right? So moving on, we have event host. I think it's still the same Dageland. Okay, this one is now black signature. I use black signature. I use black signature a lot recently. All right, so this is the name Frank Adoho for Nigerians who would know him, host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So this is Legs End. If you also notice, I applied the same principle I applied in this social media influence, the influence, power, and impact. The same hierarchy thingy I did there. So the same thing I did for the convener name and same thing I did for the green carpet host. So you'll be wondering what is this yellow thingy that is here. So most of the time I love drawing what do you call it, curves like this. And how do I achieve it? I draw it with my drawing tablet. I have a drawing tablet, a Huron drawing tablet. I used to achieve that. Tablet or a drawing pad, I don't know, whichever one. So that's how I drew this particular stuff. So it's just like one gibberish that makes sense. All right, so that's how I got that, this yellow thingy that is curved like that. So I developed it myself. So you can also develop your own elements too if you choose to add to your designs. So behind here is the 5, and the font there is Akira expanded, so like 5 days to go. So I doubled up the fonts with the different color. That's this yellow. All right, so basically the brand colors for Bodex social media is green and yellow, or green and gold, right? So since gold doesn't have particular a particular how will I put it, um color identification, all right, I just use this shade of yellow, and it really came out nice. So yeah, the next thing is this particular pictures, the pictures I have of the hosts and the convener. All right, so I edited these pictures using camera raw filter, under filter. So if you would need to if you need to learn how to retouch the way I do, or edit pictures the way I do, all right, you need to go back to my previous YouTube videos and learn that. Right. So the next thing I have here, the dates, date, time, venue, and all of these are legs and fonts. All right. The same hierarchy I applied here is the same hierarchy I'm applying here. So the only difference is that this green carpet fonts are different. So this green carpet is Baybas, all right, while this 10 a.m. and the rest is the same lesson font. Is it that lesson or intro? Right, then you have for more inquiries, all of this. So this is basically my own arrangement. I'm sure it's not something that you must apply in your design, but it's something you can take home from it. Right. So if you notice, the design is quite how will I put it, aligned in such a way that the eyes can really follow and read. All right, so that's that about this first page. Okay, and you have some gradients. All right, I applied a gradient behind, on top of these pictures, so that this text can rest well. All right, and how do I apply those gradients? I think this should be one of the gradients fields, I think. All right, so yeah, that's the gradient field for this particular first carousel. Right, so if you apply a gradient over a carousel, what it does is that it applies all through the page. All right, so what you can do, or what you would need to do, is to just come over this marquee tool, and okay, so let me just take this, let me just remove the layer marks that is there already. So once you apply a gradient, you notice that it spills over to this place. So this is the gradient off, it's the gradient on. So you notice that it spills over to the whole design, spills over here. So, but I don't need it over all of that. I need it over just this. Right. So what I'll do is I'll come here, then I would, draw. Right. I make sure I'm stopping at this grid line that says this is the end of this first carousel. Then I'll come down to this layer mask and click on it. Right, so once I click on it, it just applies the gradients only to that place. So that's why I have that. Then over the gradients, I have this pattern I love adding. All right, so I added it just over the gradients. Look at it there. So that's, let me zoom in. Let's zoom in and see what's going on there. So this is the pattern here. All right, so I applied it there. Very, very subtle something, but it's there. All right, so this is, the blend mode is normal, the opacity is 8%. All right, so if I crunch it up to, like, see what it looks like. So this is not what I need, because it's going to be too hard on the design. Right, look at what it looks like. It's going to be too hard on the design. So I needed it very, very subtle. So 8% was what could do it for me. Then this other line you're seeing here is just part of those jaga jaga I used to draw, like this one. All right, so I just put it over there, change the blend mode to overlay. This is what it looks like normally. All right, same color with this, but I just change it to overlay so it blends well with that particular, in that particular environment where it is. All right, so that's that about the first carousel. All right, so if you notice, these carousels are separated by grid lines. This is this grid line that says this is the end of the first carousel. So the next one It's almost quite simple. So if you notice, most of my designs are really so simple. It's just the composition and the arrangement that makes it look very, very presentable. Right. So this is still the same logo, still the same stuff I did here. So the next thing I did was to add these pictures. So I already grouped these pictures together into a I grouped them together and got them into this is the grouping, yeah, of all of them individually. So with their pictures. All right, so this is them individually. So I grouped them. I had to make sure there was a space here because of the picture of the convener I was going to add. So it's quite simple stuff, dependent on how you want to um, um, arrange the pictures of your speakers or panelists or however it is you want to do it. So I grouped them and converted them into a smart object. That's why you have them singular as one particular layer here. All right. So the same halftone effect is also applying here. You notice it. Then their names, I had to align them to the right, all right, because of these pictures already aligned to the left. Again, to give balance. All right. So left and right balances out. All right. So this font is lessened. All right. So it has all their names according to their arrangement. All right. Then you have the picture of the convener that I also edited on I edited this picture with my camera raw filter. All right. And yeah, that's that. So the same text, the same all of that, I brought them from these previous designs, changed the colors. Then you notice there's this black rectangle, black and yellow rectangle behind. All right, you notice that too. Then you also notice that this same pattern I added to this gradients fill here is applying over this thing here too. So I maxed it over this particular rectangle. So there you have it, as simple as that. Then the same gradient thing I did here is the same thing I applied here over this. So if you notice, this is our image here in layer 4. All right. And this is the gradient fill here. All right, over her image. All right. So that's just practically it, so that I'm able to fill in all of this together and it doesn't clash with her body, or it's just very readable. If you notice, these same two elements, this same element again from the same element from here. All right, I just brought them here. All right, so I duplicated it, so just basically to also give you that sense of balance. So if you look on this side and look on this side, there's a balance, there's alignment. All right, so if I take this element out now, there's, by the time you look at this design, it looks kind of tacky. If you look at the composition, it looks kind of tacky because of this space here. Right, so to make sure you have a very, very balanced thingy here, you can add this element, and voila, there you have it. Something very balanced. Look here, from top to bottom. Sorry for my sound effects though, forgive me. Just like that. And sorry, I had to put it out there. For those who don't know, I also still watch cartoons, so my bad. Sorry. So over here, the composition is quite different, or not really different, but just a tad bit different, new concept and all of that. So the same thing at the top, the same halftone effect is occurring here. So now basically you have um what do you call it? I did a rectangle over this particular. There are like two rectangles here. So this is the first one, which is green, the second one, which is white. So I had to put this rectangle here because first of all, this green, if I remove this, you notice that this green here is conflicting with the green on this whole stuff. So you will not really see the whole stuff. So there has to be white something. I didn't really want the whole thing to look white again like the previous one. So I said, okay, let me sacrifice and put a rectangle there. All right, so that's white and will blend with this background that is white. So that worked. Then this same pattern, all right, I showed you that applies over here too. It's the same that's applying over this green. Then you have the pictures. All right, some pictures I just arranged to look very, very nice. Then the same principle of The numbers I added here, that's 5. Same thing is now working here. So now with a different color, which is white and yellow. So you have the number 04, duplicate of another 04 under different color. All right, then you also have this what do you call it, element here. So it's a Y2K element. All right, so I just changed the blend mode. This is what it looks like normally. This is what it looks like normally. This is what it looks like normally on a normal. This is what it looks like. So I had to change the blend mode to linear dodge. So linear dodge gave me this particular nice stuff I have here. So I allowed it spill off into the next carousel. That's just the beauty of oh god, what am I speaking? Excuse me. That's just the beauty of carousel designs. All right. The fact that elements are able to overlap over different pages or different boards is actually very lovely. All right. It shows the beautiful concept of continuation. All right. So the same principles are applied of gradients over here, over the lower part of this picture. Same thing with this text. You notice they are just uniform across all expressions of this particular countdown designs. So you have these days and to go, the same fonts. I think this is Akira too. Yeah, Akira expanded. So we move on to the next one. I'm trying to make sure these videos are as fast as possible so that we would not waste so much time because it's quite a lot going on. All right. So here we have a different concept. All right. Have a different concept. So I thought designers try as much as possible to make sure that when you're taking on a design job or a design gig, make sure the pictures they are sending you are very high res pictures that you can use. Very high res pictures that will give you so much concept on what exactly you're doing. It's also very, very important. All right. It works that way because if it doesn't, you'll be having so much challenges as to drawing up concepts. All right. So immediately I saw this picture when she sent it with a couple of other pictures. I was like, okay, tattoo fingers up. I think I can use this picture to tell a story of 2 days to go. Do you understand? And that was it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. I can actually use that. And I saved the picture for this. And it came out really nice. Like it came out really nice. So I have as opposed to all the designs, a green background this time with this particular pattern. You notice this pattern is just regular in all of the designs. All right, that's basically how event branding should work. You should have like a particular pattern or way of doing your designs that it will actually reflect across all the different expressions of that particular event brand style. All right, so there you have this particular stuff again. So it kind of works on this yellowish circle. So I wanted to make it white, but I was like, let me try this color and see if it works. So it actually worked. Then this whole let's network and all of that, same thing. The team and this whole same thing. Then these 2 days to go, I think is black signature. Yes, I was right. Two. Then days to go, still same black signature. Very, very nice concept. So what I just did, I just duplicated this particular element and I brought it down here behind her picture. All right, so this is a picture here. So I was able to crop that out. All right, she was not her clothes and her shoes were not exactly the colors of the brand. I think I can show you what it was initially. Hopefully I get it. Okay, let me open up this her picture. Okay, so this is the picture. So this is what her clothes were, or these are what she was wearing. This is what she was putting on, and this conflicts directly and so much with the brand. So I had to, do some cleaning up. When I tried, changing the colors and all of that, and it was really taking my time. I just said, you know what, let me just use here saturation and just make the whole thing black and white, make her whole clothes and all of that black and white. Look like no, she's wearing an ash pants, meanwhile it's blue, and her shoes ash, and just her hand and her face and her hair that remains, and her legs that remains the colors of the whole stuff, while we try to figure out what is going on. So yeah, that's how you have that. All right, so yep, So that's how I was able to clean that up. So I also had to develop these shadows under her because they are not natural. I had to develop those shadows. All right, if you notice, so these are the shadows. I had to paint under it, and change the blend mode to multiply. This is what it looks like normally. All right, a green color paint over that, but I had to change it to multiply so that it adds cast that shadow. All right, so it's very much more realistic. Okay, so the same thing I have here, date, time, and all of that. So I'm able to put it all over here without doing so much gradient work because it's already a green background thingy. All right, or is there a gradient here? Is there a gradient? Alright, there's a gradient. Alright, so it's the same thing. Oh, okay, this is what it is. Then it's a gradient. Alright, so if you notice without these gradients now, you notice that this there is a shadow of this haleg. Yeah, of this haleg here. If you look well, this is it here. So with now to add an extra shadow here too. So yeah, bringing back the gradients. So if, with the gradients now, you not really notice it except you're keen on looking for what to find. So now we're on 3 days to go. All right, this 3 days. This 3 days was meant to come before these 2 days, but I don't know how I omitted it. But I wasn't getting the vibe to do 3 days because of the pictures she sent initially until she actually sent this. All right, so the same thing. So now I basically came back to the conventional where if you most of you who know my designs would know that for most of the time I would definitely do um what do you call it, this little text and all of that. So basically these texts are not meant for you to read but are just there as elements to complement the designs. They make sense if you can zoom in to read them. Right, it's all about social media and the social media hangout, what it's all about and all of that. So then you have this my spiral coming to repeat itself here. Then you have a picture, very very fine picture. Then the branding. Then you now have the pictures here again. You know how to add in some more pictures. Then I have this shape. I used my pencil to do. All right, so I just got my pencil. Tap 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 till I got to this endpoint. All right, so it's just one creative way of displaying things. So I have my 3 days to go. So the three are the days Comic Kings. The to go should be black signature. Yeah. So this is definitely behind all of this in the arrangements of the layers. Then you now have the team, social media influence, the less network and access is free, then the remaining other text. So it's just the fact what really makes you a creative is the fact that you're able to from one particular from one particular or the same number of elements you're able to create different compositions. Right, is basically what I try to teach designers when I put up my designs on my page. The fact that you should not, your brain or your thinking should not be regimented to a particular style, like, or a particular pattern, a particular type of composition. You should be able to on the spot create different variations, different compositions from the same set of elements. If you notice, these are the same set of elements. I'm just rearranging, I'm just changing compositions and finding what works and what doesn't work, which is going to be a plus for every creative designer. All right, so let's learn to experiment, like take your time to really experiment. So we have the last slide, all right, which has almost the same thing. All right, so it's just the different arrangement, the one and the day and the to go, different placements but all with the same element. So one day Comic Kings and all of that, to go the same thing, black signature, this whole stuff repeating itself again. Then I repeated it somewhere down here again. Let's network and build, access is free, different locations but still the same element. Right, still the same element. That's just the beauty of being a creative, your ability to do all of this with the consciousness of what exactly you're doing. So it was a whole lot for me on this design, and I hope I was able to explain and break down this to your understanding. So these are very very simple designs. If you have If you have more questions on what you would like to see or what you would like me to break down more in subsequent videos, feel free um to let me know, and I would get back to you as quickly as possible. So thank you for your time, and see you in the next one. Ciao, bye.